All right. Can you guys see this? I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Uh-oh, this is the wrong one. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, cool. All right, so I would love, I know Erica and Anna Marie, I would love to hear from you guys, just these couple of things here. Like, basically, I want to know like how you did going through the homework, and don't feel bad if you didn't get it all done. It's totally fine. And then any roadblocks, and then would love to know where we can support you. So I always love to hear where you guys feel you fall, whether you're a rebate queen, a Holly hobby, or a boss babe business owner. Did you guys answer that question?
I have to be honest, I didn't get to watch last week. So
Oh, okay.
basically I got an F on homework. This is it.
No worries.
Sorry.
That's okay. And when you get a chance, you can always take a look at it. There's the recording I think I did put in there. So go ahead and watch that whenever you get a moment. And then Anna Marie, I know you can even, I don't know if the chat is up here. Oh, here, what's this? Let me see it. Hello, muted. Okay. For sure, boss babe. Awesome. The only thing I didn't get to was the 50 names. I'm struggling with it because I've gone through my list a million times. Okay, so I feel like for you, Anna Marie, would be probably really, I'm not sure what your social game looks like on social media, but I find that, and your stories especially, can really be a telltale sign as to who's following you. So I think that is one of the best ways, I think, when people kind of feel a little bit of a drought or they feel dry in terms of like prospects, is doing stories consistently, because on regular posting, you can't really tell who's watching, right? I have people that reach out to me that never, and we hear this all the time, they've never liked my posts and they've never commented on my posts. They've never reached out to me. But then I'll see them like stalking me on my stories. So it's kind of interesting. And so that's where I'll strike up a conversation. Hey, like basically I saw that you viewed XYZ. What do you think about that? Have you ever tried such and such recipe? Or do your kids play soccer or whatever? So that would probably be the first place that I would go to, would be looking at who's watching your stories on both Instagram and Facebook. I hope that's helpful. Okay, what do you got here? I'm working to up my social game for sure. I have noticed many people story stalking me and I'm writing names down from there. Thank you, that's helpful. Okay, awesome, very good. So yeah, that would be my first, that's a very easy way to start conversations rolling in there. So good. And then start doing polls too. And we're gonna get more into social media next week, but start doing polls, you guys. And it's just like, I don't know, like stuff like, hey, have you ever had cauliflower? Because like from the cleanse, cauliflower oatmeal, or have you ever used this spice before? And then give them a recipe with it. Or it's always about giving, right? And educating. And that's kind of how I really connect with people, is always giving and educating them on different things. People love recipes, even if they'll never make it, they love that you gave it to them. So just keep that in mind. But I do feel like anytime I feel like in every other day, or if you can every day, just to do a silly poll, because the people that are going to actually engage in your poll are, and it can be just silly stuff, right? It doesn't have to be world earth shattering. They're the ones that are going to be more inclined to engage with you just in a text or on Facebook Messenger. So keep that in mind too. All right, cool. All right, so let's see here. So she said you've done everything except your list. Okay, cool. And then that's great. So you're well on your way. So we'll continue here. Any other roadblocks that come up, just send them in the chat and we're happy to kind of go through those. All right, let's see here. There we go. All right, so I love hitting on the Prove It Challenge. Super important to obviously be reminded of it every day. It is really what is moving the needle for a lot of people's businesses. So, you know, this last month in particular, my sister texted me on the 13th when we got paid on Friday. She's like, oh my gosh, sis, my my paycheck or my bonus was $1,000 more than it was last month. And I'm like, wait, what? So that was a lot of her, you know, because we weren't getting the immediate bonus on our older, on our previous members, right? So that was adding up, and then all of her double bonuses and all that. So she was pretty stoked about that. You know, my paycheck was about 500 higher. Actually, it's not a paycheck, it's a bonus. And as I was going through my bank account too, just noticing kind of all those nice little bonuses that were happening. So it's real important that we really feel the power and see the power and believe in the power of this Prove It challenge. And that really starting with core nutrition is where it's at with Shaklee. It's what this company was founded on. It's really what foundationally our bodies and our health is founded on. Every cell is made of protein, vitamins, and minerals. Therefore, we need to feed it clean protein, vitamins, and minerals every single day to fill those nutritional gaps due to diet, due to you know, lack of sleep, due to extra stress, which we all have in our lives these days. So I think it's so smart that Shaklee decided to get back to their roots and really focus and hone in on that, because I feel like so many of us are trying to sort of patch our way to better health. And maybe I'll try this fad, and maybe I'll try that fad, maybe I'll try this kind of exercise. But really, at the end of the day, it all stems from just getting really serious about core nutrition. Starting there, right? Get your foundation set, just like a house, like Krystle's well aware of. And then from there, we kind of figure it out. Like, we start at the core, get all our gaps filled, and then we can start adding, okay, you have extra stress in your life, let's try some stress relief. You know, still struggling to sleep and stay asleep, let's try osteomatrix. And that can get overwhelming, but just know that anybody that you work with on your team, your upline, that they can be the ones that can say, oh, so what's she still struggling with? Oh, sleep. All right, cool. How about this, right? So don't ever stress about that. We just want to start with the basics, and then we kind of build from there. So wanted to definitely hit on the Prove It challenge today, and that this should be part of all of our conversations whenever we're talking to anybody that's interested in anything health or anything Shaklee. People that are like, oh, I want to try your protein powder. And I'll say, actually, what are your goals? And they're like, well, I could use a little bit of weight loss, and I really want to get toned up. And I'm like, girl, you should just do our Prove It challenge. It's a great way to get started. You're going to get this amazing protein with leucine. You're going to get these great vitamins, and you get to kick it all off with a 7-day cleanse. People have had great success. And I'm like, do you want more information? Sure, send it to me. Okay. And then you send them the little video. So that's been working for me. So instead of just saying, oh, sure, here's my link to protein, I go ahead and send the Prove It challenge right over. And they're usually like, that sounds great. So anyway, all right. So it's important, obviously, to really understand the fundamentals of this business. I think it's important to kind of really show you guys what's possible. And so Krystle's going to talk about this and see if you guys have any questions around this mindset.
Yes. So let's talk about just a few of the ways that we earn money in Shaklee Dream Plan. There's actually a lot of ways. You could even categorize them more than we've just kind of bulk them together here. But for just like a good overview of getting you excited and honestly building your belief, because if you don't have belief, you're not going to have a lot of confidence in talking about all that Shaklee has to offer. And we're so much more than green cleaners and protein, right? So we want to make sure that you guys understand some of the immediate income from the Prove It challenge, because that really is awesome. Just like Cindy said with Dana, getting an extra $1,000. I mean, that's like a whole week stay on vacation for a family. You know what I mean? Like when you start really putting that dollar amount to things that you could apply it to your family. So think about what those things are for you. Maybe it's debt. Maybe it's a vacation you haven't taken. Maybe it's private school. Maybe it's those dance lessons your kid wants. Make it really personal to you. And then we're going to talk about a little bit of car bonuses and incentive trips, because that really excited me when I got started. And it's a great early bonuses and ways that you can earn some exciting things. So let's see. Can I move it, Cindy, or do you need to move it?
I got it.
Slide. Okay, thanks. So right away, the immediate earnings, again, we're going to hit on this throughout, all of these weeks, but today we want to just hit on one of the goals that we want you to focus on. And the Prove It challenge, just like Cindy said, is a really simple, easy way to get people introduced to Shaklee products, but also giving them a story. And that's what this is all about. It's not about being able to know all the facts and be able to sell things really great. It's about creating your own story for yourself and helping other people create stories. And then we get great at sharing those stories because that's what people relate to. So when you take the Prove It Challenge, when somebody new from you takes the Prove It Challenge, Shaklee's going to pay you $25 right away. That's paid out daily, which is really exciting because depending on what you have going on in life, if you know, crap, I just got a flat tire and I really didn't budget for that, you have an outlet of getting cash fast if you need it. So our concept in our mind is kind of thinking of trios, right? We want to think of 3 people. And when you get 3 people, you get $25 for each of those people, which is $75. But then when you do that within a month's time frame, Shaklee's like, way to go. We're going to give you another $75. And so you get $150 every time you find 3 people to do this. And now I do want to keep bringing up the fact that we don't want you to just be thinking of 3 people. When you find somebody to get started, we want you to be having those conversations with that person right away. We want you to be saying, who do you know? Who do you know that also feels the way that you feel, or they're wanting to lose a few pounds, or maybe, they're just in your same chapter of life. Who do you know? And we just, we're not going to be like slimy and try to be getting into friends lists. And like sometimes people have such a negative connotation of referrals. And so I don't even like to think of it like that. It's more like, how can we get this ripple effect going really fast right away? And some people are going to think of friends right away. And oftentimes there's, you have the opportunity to take the $25 that you earn and gift it to that new person and say, you find a friend, like I'll give you the $25. Like I want to help you help yourself and your friends. And so this is how the duplication model kind of comes. There's also, until the end of the year, you are able, your upline, who is your direct business partner, is able to get an extra $75 bonus rather, which is where the money really starts duplicating and really starts adding up. And so we're going to keep talking about this, but we want you to constantly be thinking of 3 people, 3 people, 3 people. Even when you're talking to one new person, start planting some of those seeds. Okay, Cindy, you can go to the next slide. So we have a success system, and it can look different. It doesn't have to look like this. And you can really look at these different diagrams that we'll put up here and pick them apart, and you can see, the little blue people represent new people, green little bodies represent reorders. And so we're not going to overcomplicate this. Some of you are visual learners. Some of you are going to see it all pictured out and be like, oh my gosh, how does that even happen? So instead, just think of it as 1 month at a time. And that's where we're at right now. We want your goal to be to always be trying to find 6 people. 6 people. So in 3s, right? 6 people. And when you find 6 people in a month's time, depending on the different bonuses that are coming in with this example, you can earn $356 in your first month. And so we want to not only be getting your mindset wrapped around this system, but we want you to constantly be planting those seeds. Like if somebody has an objection that this, I can't afford it. I want to do it so bad, but I can't afford it. That's like light bulb, my kids would say from Minions. Light bulb, okay, this person is looking for a way to get their products maybe discounted or paid for. And so those are good ways. We have a really cool system. This is an actual program. It's not just a 30-day kit. It's an actual program. And I could even share with you, if you would want to hear, how you could get your products for free. So basically, it's kind of the concept. If they were to upgrade to distributor, find 3, get yours free. Essentially, they make $150 and the kit's $159. And so we want you, again, not just understand what you can earn, but understand who in your circle could be earning some money too. So your first goal in this first 30 days is to focus on finding 2 sets of 3 people, and you're going to earn a great bonus. Okay, go on to the next. And then for those of you who like a goal, you like to be given a goal, this might be the goal for you. You might extend it out a little further, and that's okay too. Everybody gets to work at their own pace. But if you were to continue to focus on finding 6 people in a month's time, that was your focus of finding 6 people. And then 50% from last month, it's pretty typical for 50% to reorder again and continue on that vitalizing plan of a strip and shake every day. In month 2, we don't want your focus just to be 6 people. We want you to potentially one of those 6 people you did have this great conversation with, and maybe they, the person in yellow there, want to do what you're doing, and they're like, I want to find 6 people. I want to make over $350. How can you help me do that? And that's going to really help leverage your own business and increase your own paycheck as you're helping other people to kind of cast the vision and plant those seeds early. So let's look at what maybe a 90-day plan looks like. And 90 days is a really important goal, because oftentimes what you do today, you actually end up seeing play out in 90 days. You don't always get that immediate yes in a perfect world, right? There's a lot of not nows, sometimes just a hard no. And we respect the no, we respect the not nows. We continue just to build relationships and build trust. But in this 90-day goal plan, again, your goal is to find 6 people yourself. We have, again, 50% of people reordering from the first month, from the second month. But now we're helping 2 people. We're helping 2 people to also find 6 people. And that's just the model over and over and over again. So when you grasp it in your first month or in your second month or third, however long it takes you, of finding these pods of 3, that is going to give you more confidence, build your belief of explaining to people the verbiage, what you say, what you send, and how simple it can really be. But check that out. In your first 90 days, you can earn your first paycheck of $1,000. I mean, if you accumulate that over 90 days, it's more than $1,000, but you can make a huge difference in your family with that. So let's look a little bit further of the benefits package of director. And so we want you to focus on becoming a health advocate. You don't have to become perfect. You don't have to portray yourself as somebody that doesn't seem authentic, because we can't emphasize enough. Be you. Like, you be you, because you do you really well. And so we want you to be you, be authentic, but really start taking ownership of your own health journey. Maybe you're used to eating fast food every day of the week. You know what? Instead of 7 days, let's try 6 days this week, right? Like, one step at a time. Be honest to where you're at, because it'll be very relatable to everybody else. And we want you to find 20 to 30 customers through yourself, through your friends. These are all accumulated from everybody within these circles. And we love to encourage you to get to 3,000 points, because it's going to make you a really solid director. We'll talk more about PV in weeks to come, but PV just represents point value. It's basically all the products that you sell all have a point value to them. The Prove It Challenge Kit is 100 PV. And so you can see how these points can really accumulate. But we want you to really start focusing on who you also want to partner with, just as I've mentioned before. Who do you see? It's pretty easy to spot people who are excited, right? It doesn't mean that they are a boss babe. Not everybody's a boss babe, but people get excited and get energized, and we want to make sure we match that energy. And so we want to help you earn your first trip. And by getting those solid customers and getting to the director level, which is our first business leader rank, you can earn your first trip, which is an all expense paid trip for 2, to the New Directors Conference at our global headquarters in Pleasanton, California, which is right by San Francisco. I think Cindy would agree with me. It's hands down one of the most memorable trips. I mean, it's life-changing and does such value, especially if you're bringing a spouse with you. Maybe they're not in your business, but they get to kind of see that this is much bigger than me behind my laptop or my phone. So let's see what's next, though, because we want to continue just to paint the picture of Shaklee, but we're only going to just kind of look through maybe like the first few ranks here, because this is a huge thing that we don't talk about enough. When you help one person do what you just did, so you become a director, you help one person do what you just did, you get a rank advancement, which is called senior director, but you earn your first car allowance, a car. We don't talk about it enough. And we have people who get tractors. We have people, Cindy, did you guys, I was going to say, wait a minute, you guys are one of them. Yeah.
We are, yeah.
It's so cool. And so Shaklee is really cool about what your needs are and as far as a vehicle goes. And now, I feel hypocritical even saying it because I was against minivans, like, for sure. But it is my first brand new car, and we've gotten 3 brand new cars in Shaklee thanks to sharing the gift of health. And it just started with us making changes, and the ripple effect of that is amazing. But your paycheck continues to increase as well. But let's look at what it looks like when you help 2 people. So the name of the game in building an actual business, a network marketing business where you're building a community, is you becoming a director and then you helping other people do what you did over and over and over and over. That's it. That's like all you have to grasp. Don't let everything else complicate it for you. But when you hit the rank of coordinator, this is what I tell people. It basically looks like this. By the time you hit coordinator, you've helped 2 people do what you just did. You earn a second trip. This year's to Costa Rica. This is one of those that I'm like, I do not want to miss this trip. This is one of those like serious FOMO. I will have it big time if I'm not there. And you help 2 people do what you just did. You get to that coordinator rank. It looks like this. It's an average income of around $21,000, $22,000 a year. That's super impactful to your family. You will have earned 2 trips by this point and a car and a ton of changes in your lifestyle and your health by you doing it and helping 2 other people do it too. So we love to share this model, and we'll keep kind of adding to it and making sure that we build your belief along the way. But getting to coordinator is where things really start getting serious, where this really is life-changing for your family. So we're here for you. Keep plugging in, keep completing the homework, and take steps one day at a time because you'll get there.
Yeah, if I could just add too, like I was very motivated by the trips myself. And, you know, at the beginning I was like, oh, it's just for people. It's not me, you know, but it quickly realized that it was actually quite easy, not easy, but quite accessible. And, you know, for instance, one of my, my sister has a good friend in Mary Kay, and she like literally their elite, like are the only ones that get to go on vacation or on their dream trips. I mean, I'm talking $600,000 in sales. Like, you know, we're at, you know, really to become a coordinator, what are we usually, PV is what, 4?
Really? I mean, you
wait,
have to
no, it would be 6. Well, it would be like 6 to 9,000 PV. Now that doesn't equate to dollars, but I think about how quickly we're able to go on these vacations compared to other companies out there. So I'm really grateful because that is my sweet spot. It's what I love. So anyway, it's always been really good for.
Well, and one of the things too that really, in my business, the first couple of years, I didn't treat my business like a business. I treated it more like I mean, I do this. Like, I mean, I didn't talk about it as proudly as I should have. I didn't have the belief behind it. And, you know, a couple of years in, all these people are going on these trips, and I'm becoming friends with people from going to global conferences and regionals, and they're going on these trips. And it got to be one of those things like, I want to go on one of these trips. Like, how do I do it? And the first step was like, oh, there's these trips. Cool. Oh, you do, this is what you need to do. Okay. But you have to take ownership of it. If the trips mean, like, if you really are like, I want to go to that. Are you kidding me? 5-star resort, all expense paid. No way. This is nuts. You really have to take ownership of it. And that's honestly when my business shifted, was when it was like, I'm going on that trip to Playa del Carmen. I'm going. And that was like my period. Like that, I'm doing that. And so I had to figure out what really does it count. You have to earn points, okay? How do you earn points? When's the time frame? When are the dates of the trip? So if the trips are motivating to you and you really are seeking growth in your business, the trips force you to do the right activity in your business for growth. And so your income increases, you earn the trip, and you get really laser focused on doing the right activities. So if trips are motivating you, please reach out to us because we want to like paint the picture and we can create a game plan with you, and it will help you to focus and so laser focus. And then when you've been on one, if you miss one, which I've missed a couple the last 2 years for various reasons, and it's very motivating. You never want to miss again. So
awesome. Very good. Okay, so we had touched a little bit on mindset even now, right? We're getting laser focused. You know, we were like, oh, that's for everybody else. You know, some of us maybe didn't think we're deserving of different things. And so that's really where it's so essential to really focus in on your personal and self-development. Without a doubt, any leader that I know, or CEO or VP exec or whatever, if they're leading a large team, or they're leading a charge, or they're writing a book or whatever, anybody, they are doing self-development in some way, shape, or form. And so I think hands down, it is the number one thing that we need to be doing every single day to some degree. And so, for me, it's been less TV, more books, and more podcasts. So I really am not a TV watcher unless I watch it with my boys. And that's kind of evolved over the years to kind of get out of television and do more reading books and listening to podcasts. And then for me, it's always about raising the bar and continually developing into who I want to be. So even with our cleanses, like some people are like, well, I don't, I only do, so it's one cleanse, right? And then you strip and shake, right? Okay, well, we all have the holidays and the summer and we're all human, right? So it's like, you know what, I'm going to do another cleanse, right, in 6 months. And I'm going to learn something new and I'm going to raise the bar to take me to that next level. So there's always ways, or like taking that next class at the gym, you were scared of it. It's like, take it, So just like anything in life, like I feel like you should always be raising the bar. And when you do self-development, that's the kind of thing that you're going to be motivated to want to do. You're going to be motivated to want to take your business to the next level, help that next person, that type of thing. So I just encourage you guys to do that. So my personal favorite podcasts are Your Virtual Upline by Bob Heilig, and that's B-O-B, was it H-E-L-I-E-G? The Women Inspiring Women podcast, and also Make Chic Happen. We can probably add to this. These are my favorites. I'm sure Krystle and Tracy probably have some of their own favorites too. But these are great to start with. Both the Women Inspiring Women and Make Chic Happen are done by Melanie Mitro, and then her business partner Katie Ersta, and the Make Chic Happen. They're both very successful Beachbody coaches, but they are so wonderful and professional. Like they'll mention it, but you never feel like they're selling you on Beachbody or anything. So don't be taken aback by that. But they have such amazing teachings and words of wisdom, and they call you out. Like you're like, are you talking to me? But they're not, obviously. So those are great. And that is what I wear, like when I'm on the treadmill at the gym, when I'm out, if I go running, if I'm doing dishes and my boys are not around me, if I'm cooking, if I'm folding laundry, like anytime I'm like, or I'm making my lunch, anytime I have the ability to not have to focus in on like, writing social media or anything, that I have a podcast in my ear. So I've trained myself to always have something positive in your ears. And I'll tell you, if you feel like you're having a rough day, plug something like that in and you're going to have such a better day. Some of my favorite books are The Slight Edge. I think that's a great starter book. It's about just small steps lead to big change over time. Everything is a compound effect. And it's just really, really good. Start with Why by Simon Sinek has really been pretty fabulous as I kind of got further into my, years with Shaklee. I've been in Shaklee for 4.5 years. The why became very apparent and very important part of why I get up every day and do what I do. You're a Badass. I think it's great because it generally tells you that you are worth it, and that you shouldn't be apologizing. She's a little bit like, oh my goodness, Rachel Hollis. So I really liked her, so much so that I finished her book on like Christmas vacation or in January several years ago. And I was literally in my pajamas, like hair, crazy curly hair all over the place, no makeup. I finished this book before my kids and my husband were up one morning. And I got on social live to talk about the impact it had on me. I didn't even care what I looked like. And it was just amazing. Like I was just so like, yes, I'm ready to be a badass. So anyway, that's a really good book. The 5-second rule is awesome, especially for those of us that have a lot of doubt and taking action. High Performance Habits, GoPro's great. Miracle Morning is something that changed my way of setting up my day. I get up at 4:30 every morning. I choose to work out first thing so that I have the rest of my day to devote to my business and getting my family orders in place. Because I'm a very social person, so I know that if I go to the gym, it'll be a lot longer than what it should be. Because if I go to a 9:30 class, I'll be there till like 11. So for me in the morning, it's get in, get out, and that's worked really well for me and being very efficient with my time. Girl Wash Your Face and Stop Apologizing, both great reads by Rachel Hollis, and then Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. I haven't read that, but I've heard really, really good things. Melanie Mitro loves that. So just some good recommended reads, and just would love for you guys to get your hands on some of those. All right, so starting with your why. This is the Simon Sinek book. So ask yourself, why did you start this business in the first place? And a lot of us sometimes have a different reason when we first started to where like even like 90 days in, where it's different because you're more vested, you're more passionate about this company, you've found more products that you love, you've helped a few people, and it just becomes even more important, and you become even more passionate. So some of us are looking for personal reasons, some of us for financial reasons, some of us for just professional reasons. You want to feel like you're making a purpose or having a purpose, right? If you're, maybe you stay home with your kids and you're like, you know what, I really need a professional outlet. Like this is how I'm going to do this and feel like I'm a part of my family income, making a difference, but again, with the financial piece. And then sometimes for personal reasons, it's just wanting to be a part of a very positive community, just helping others and having a vehicle to do that. I look at Shaklee as my vehicle to share health and wealth and to get paid for it, right? I mean, I could do all that I'm doing without a vehicle, right? For nothing. But let's face it, like it takes time and it takes energy and your passion, and to get paid, we are worth what we're doing, right? So it is important to get compensated for that. One of the things that I love for you guys to think about, and I had my team do this and it was just so heartwarming to read what they had to say, but if time and money were not an issue at all for you today, what do you think your life would look like? For a lot of my team, they were taking like bigger, better, longer vacations. They were taking their parents who might otherwise not be able to afford them. They were going on mission trips. They were donating more to their churches. They were donating more to their kids' school. They were hiring a personal chef. They were getting their kitchen remodeled. Like there's all these different things, right? And everybody's just going to look a little bit different, but it's kind of fun because I feel like we all kind of stop dreaming when like reality hits and we become like grown-ups, and so it was actually a really cool exercise and fun for them to do. So I think it's important for us to do that as well, because I think it helps you stay focused on kind of that end goal. And then also visualizing it. It kind of sounds hokey, and I actually had my team do this. I asked them to do this by a certain date if they want it or whatever. And one of my teammates, she's super like really what do you call it, where you're very like to the point, like she's not super like, hey, she's just very like to the point, black and white, whatever. And she's like, so I was really skeptical about this vision boarding thing. Sounded like it was super hokey pokey. She's like, but she loved it. And she was like, it was so cool. She's like, I'm really glad I did that. And I didn't like stick with my roll my eyes at it. So anyway, it does something to you when you actually cut it out, you look at it, you choose it, you put it on your board. So think about that. That's a fun exercise too. All right. So another thing is like who, so who is your ideal client? I think it's really essential to figure this out. You have to really get clear on who you want to serve. I think it's easy for all of us to just kind of like throw spaghetti and see what sticks, right? Well, maybe I'll get a guy, maybe I'll get a retiree, maybe I'll get a new mom that's pregnant, maybe I'll get a mom that's in menopause. Like the thing is that you have to really hone in on who you want to help. And it sounds scary. You're like, well, that's not a lot of people, but really it'll resonate more with the right people versus keeping it super broad. So that's where I think it's almost better to take a look at who you are and the kind of things that you struggle with, because chances are that's who you're doing life with. You're doing life with people your similar age, similar kids' ages, time of your life, area you live in, or it could be obviously other areas that people live in as well. They're still dealing with the same thing you're dealing with, being an Uber at night for me, now like, what am I, 43. So it's like, my periods have changed. It's not as easy to shed weight anymore. There's just so many different factors, right? Keeping up with my kids. So talking to those pains, or I think too, for me, it's like low back pain. Like I'm getting a little, like I'm twinging more with my workouts versus what I was, like elastic rubber band back in the day. So it's like, a lot of these people are dealing with sore joints and different things. So that's the people that you need to be speaking to. So you had to figure that out and like literally write down, like, what are the things they're struggling with? And that's what you speak to. Like you're speaking to that person. You can even think of a friend that's similar to you that you would love to see on Shaklee, and you write a post thinking about her. Like and it'll resonate so much more than if you keep it broad, thinking about grandma and Aunt Sue and your cousin Julie had just had a baby. Like, I feel like it's real important because you're going to write differently, and you're going to, because you'd speak differently to your cousin who just had a baby than you would to a mom that's like you, right? With elementary and middle school age kids. So it's really important to think about that and to create your avatar. So in the file section of this group, there is an avatar assignment. It's long. I went through it and it's actually really, really cool. But take a look at it. It's actually done by Melanie Mitchell. I'm actually in a paid group that she has. And so these, we're able to share these documents. So just try not to think that you have to be all things to all people. Really keep your messaging targeted. And then also, I'd love for you guys to write down 3 people that you would love to work with. Who in your circle, who in your family, who in your life, right? Are you like, man, she'd be so cool to be on my team. She'd be so cool to do a presentation with. She'd be so amazing to take the global conference. I loved it. She'd love global conference. You know, that is where I want you guys to really start thinking about your future teams. I'd love for you to write down 3 people's names that you think would be like superstars in this business, and who you would really love to do business with. You know, a lot of us, when we were in the corporate world, didn't have a choice of who we worked with. I got really lucky to work with some really cool people, but there's people that don't work with really cool people and they hate their job because of the people they work with. So what's nice about our business is that we have the choice to work with certain kind of people. So keep that in mind for sure. All right, and so how do we get all this done, right? How do we accomplish this? And really it's about like power hours. So, you know, I know my sister Dana is 9 years younger than me, so she's in the weeds with kids. She has a 5-year-old and she has a 2-year-old. So she has, you know, preschool hours, right? And then sometimes nap time. So she calls these her power hours. There's nothing that's going to get in the way of a power hour. She's not going to do laundry. She's not going to do dishes. She's not going to cook. She's not going to go have coffee with a friend typically when she identifies what those power hours are. And she'll have what she's going to do planned out before her power hour starts. And she's going to knock out all the action things like inviting people, following up with people, placing orders if she needs to. And I feel like, you know, even early on, if you can just commit to 5 hours a week, maybe it's 2 one day and 3 another, 1 hour, 2 and 2, that didn't add up, whatever that might be. And also, honestly, Saturday and Sunday mornings. I don't know how your weekend's set up, but for me personally, like I have middle school and late elementary school kids and a husband who loves to sleep in on the weekends. So I don't. Like, I get up early and I use that time to do some self-development. I also plan out my week coming up. And I'll do some social media writing because it's nice and quiet. And so I really use those early Saturday and Sunday morning hours to really knock out some time to really kind of help build and develop into what my week's going to be coming up. And then I always talk about, you know, plan to run your day. Don't let it run you. So that's where you're like, no, from now to now, I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do this. Like, not taking calls, taking notifications off your phone. You know, don't let it run you. If you have a friend that maybe tries calling you during your power hour, you know, turn the ringer off and just text and say, hey, can I call you later? Like, I'm, you know, even though you're not in the middle of something like earth-shattering, you're still dedicating this time to your business. And so I really want you guys to take that to heart, because it doesn't take a lot. I mean, it takes time, but if it's dedicated time without any distraction, the phone goes away unless you're doing business on your phone. You can really, really get serious. And so if that's something that you guys want to talk about and how you want to set that up, your upline, your leader and mentor will be happy to show you how to do that. There's also some really good podcasts on Melanie's podcast as well about time blocking. So make sure you guys listen to those, both in, I believe she's probably done that both, I know she's done it in her Women Inspiring Women podcast, and then also for the Make She Happen. So time blocking, I think, is really, really important. All right, so that takes us to the end of our second week training. Does anybody, Anna Marie or Erica, do you guys have any questions? Okay, if you guys do, you can always put them in the chat too. All right. So my homework for next Monday would be to listen to at least one podcast. Either order or read like one chapter of a personal development book, or you can get an audiobook too. I love a good book in my hands. Some people need audio. I'd love for you to sit down and just think to yourself, what would your life look like if money and time are not an issue? It's not going to take you very long unless you're going to just sit and daydream and get real detailed about what it might look like. Just keep it high level for right now. Creating your avatar is going to take some time. Like, you know, maybe that's that Saturday morning or Sunday morning where you block it out. You get up early, grab a nice cup of coffee, get your slippers on and your robe, and just sit down and be like, no, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up and I'm going to do my avatar on Saturday morning. I'm going to spend an hour on it. And I think you guys will really find it very useful. This will take you no time at all, probably, is write down 3 people who you'd want to be teammates with, who you'd love to go to global conference with, who you'd love to share a hotel room with, and learn more about Shaklee. I think that's also a great thing to think about. And then start creating stories. I haven't talked about, well, we did talk about this right earlier, about trying to kind of broaden our list of people. So really starting to use stories on Facebook and Instagram. I think that's really, really important. And always coming back to the prove it challenge. So anytime you're eating a clean recipe, doing a shake, taking your vitamins, just take a picture. Now I want to give you guys a quick, and we're going to get into this next week, but a quick little tip that I have is that as you're kind of going through your day, if something seems like it's an opportunity to educate, take a picture of it. You may not end up using it, or an opportunity to laugh, or an opportunity, whatever it might be, take pictures. Now, one of my teammates was getting really she has 3 littles at home. Some of them are in preschool, some of them are not. And she's like, gosh, I feel like she's really good on social. But I was like, Laura, you're spending a lot of time. How's your day set up? She's like, I know I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know. I'm like, okay, this is what you need to do. Your kids are so used to you taking their pictures and you in your kitchen and whatever. So take all your pictures for the day. And then when they all get tucked in at night and you come and you sit or maybe it's a different time, you then knock out all your stories at once. Now, some people might say that that's not great way. Maybe it's twice a day that you do it. But for me personally, I need to do it once a day because I just kind of go down that rabbit hole and I start scrolling and whatever. Plus, I feel like it just takes me away from staying focused on other tasks. But it's a very important element to our business, is just kind of showing people want to know who you are. They want to see the authentic you. So these can be kind of messy, right? You don't have to be beautifully manicured. You can have crazy hair. You don't have to have some beautiful picture plated meal. People just appreciate all that. And then, so that's what I started to do, is just once a day I sat down. Now I do it in the morning. So I used to do it at night, but at night I'm so tired and brain dead because I've been up since 4:30 and my kids they don't go to bed like they should, but they're like, I gotta do this. I gotta get my soccer uniform washed, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I now do it after I drop my kid off at the bus stop. I then take 30 minutes between bus stop and coming into my house. I actually do it in my minivan. I get it done, knock it out. And for me, it works. And so, it's probably not perfect. I mean, I probably would get more at night because that's when people are scrolling on stories. But for me, it doesn't work. And I'm not going to force it if it doesn't work for me. At 8:30, the last thing I want to do is pick up my phone and do social media. Like, I just don't. I want to put it away. I want to just grab a book instead and a cup of tea and put my jammies on. So that's what works for me. So I hope that's helpful, and that it doesn't have to be some big task. But I love taking pictures of my day as my day goes on. But I'm not going to stress that I don't capture everything clearly. But I think people just enjoy kind of seeing how you roll. Okay. And then a bonus for your homework would be to begin your vision board. So I think it's just great. Just grab some magazines. That's another fun thing to do. I do that even when I'm just like, if we're having family movie or watching or whatever, I'll just be paging through it, or a car ride. I did that on a car ride. I just had those and I started cutting stuff out on the car ride. So just really maximizing my time. So I hope that was helpful. Krystle, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I think it's great. And I am going to be doing the avatar as well. I've never done it through the Chic Influencer Guide, so I'm really excited about that too. So I hope everybody takes it to heart and doesn't just assume they're gonna do it, but actually, like, I'm looking at my calendar when we hang up, and I'm gonna text you, Cindy, when I'm gonna do it. So
Yes,
sometimes
perfect.
we need accountability. If you guys who are on live need to do that, and you want to let me know when your avatar is complete, so I can check in, do that, because anything that we give for homework, it's because we think it'll be really valuable.
Absolutely. Cool. All right, ladies. Well, nobody has questions, so I will be downloading this training to YouTube, and I'll post it in the group and post the homework. And then, yeah, if you guys need any support, let us know. We're here to help you kind of weed through some of what we talked about. But other than that, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks. See ya.
Thanks, Cindy.
Bye. You're welcome.
Bye.